Hey everybody, this is Nina with Budget Yarn Reviews. I wanted to do a follow-up video to my last video on the softness of all the yarns in my acrylic yarn comparison. I was feeling them in the skein, and we all know that not only do yarns change after you wash them, but even after you knit them, they all end up feeling a little different. So this mess you see on my desk is my yarn, all the yarns re-ranked for softness after they've been knit, and they've all been knit at the recommended knitting needle size per the label. I didn't rank this one entirely by myself. I got a second opinion from my husband on all these. I'm the one with sensitive skin, but he doesn't work with his hands as much as I do, so he's actually better at feeling things with his hand, to decide how soft it is. Like, for an example, some of the Luxe fleece from Joanne, like I made a coat for my dog with it, and I thought it was super soft, and he's like, oh no, this is the worst thing ever. So I thought a second opinion would be appropriate. There were only a few things that he and I disagreed on, and I'll point those out as we get to it. But I wanted to share all of these yarns re-ranked for softness, and we'll re-rank them a second time after everything's been washed, because it's always hard to know what you're getting when you buy the skein of yarn, and that's something I really am hoping that this comparison will highlight. Okay, so I have this as written English would be, so reading from left to right, least soft to softest down over here, which you can't see, it's off camera, so I'll move these up in front of the camera so you can see it, and talk about each one. So the first one, I have these sticky notes on here. In skein, it was previously ranked as a 4. This yarn is Knit Picks Brava. This is the sport weight, and I was really surprised at how rough it was in my last video, and I was even more surprised to see that it dropped to the lowest on my list after knitting it up, and my husband 100% agreed with it. This is not a soft yarn. It's a little rough. There's little fibers that catch against your skin. Like, I don't think I could ever wear a sweater made in this without itching. So that's number 1 on least soft is Knit Picks Brava. Number 2 is Bernat Softy Chunky. It was number 3 before. Bulky yarns like this, it's kind of hard to tell. It's not quite a fair comparison, but it definitely isn't as soft. Number 3, formerly number 1, is Loop and Threads Impeccable. This softened up a lot once you got it out of the skein, and I'm really excited to see how it ends up doing after being washed. Number 4, previously number 2, so it's moved up as well, is the Caron 1 pound. Definitely got a lot softer. This one, in the previous video, I had at number 7 a tie, 3 different yarns, and they've all moved almost, well, no, 2 of them stuck together, but this one moved down. This is Paint Box's yarn. They're Simply Iran. It just, you can see that it's kind of got a more rustic look to it. It's a 3-ply yarn. So it's not quite as smooth. I mean, it's not rough, but it doesn't have the same, like, smooth, soft finish that some of the 4-ply yarns have. Number 6, this one moved up a slot. This is the Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. At number 5, this one I think stayed in this. No, this one also moved up. This is the Red Heart Soft. From there, this is the only one that did not change its ranking. This is the Caron Simply Soft. And this yarn was the first yarn that my husband was like, oh, wow, this is nice. So we're getting to the point where just about any of these yarns knitted up, unless you're, like, super sensitive like me or, like, really wanting the softest thing, any of these would be adequate. So after that, the one that surprised me the most before, and it still surprises me now, is the Big Twist Value yarn. I never expected a value yarn to be this soft. I really hope that this does well in the durability testing, because this is a really great value yarn, if so. Okay, this one was previously tied for number 7, and it's up here at number 10, and keep in mind that this isn't going to be a direct 1 to 20. because of the ties and everything. But yes, so here at currently number 10, this is Lion Brand Basic Stitch Premium. This is the 3-ply Lion Brand Basic Stitch yarn. Since my last video, I've done a comparison just on the Lion Brand Basic Stitch yarns. And the difference between the two, the premium is 3-ply, the anti-pilling is 4. So this one gives a more rustic look compared to this much smoother anti-pilling variation. So I have an entire blog post on that. I'll put a link in the description for anyone who's interested. Moving on, number 11, this is Stylecraft Special DK. It's also kind of got a rustic look to it, and it's soft. It really is. This one, my husband made the funniest comment. He's like, this feels like a rag, and I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, that sounds like a bad thing, but he acknowledged that it's still soft, so I don't know what exactly was going on in his head when he said that. In the last softness ranking, I excluded Cascade Yarns North Shore because it just felt so different. It felt like a cotton. I didn't know how to rank it, and it confused my husband too. Originally, he had this yarn way down here, like number 3 or 4. And then as he went through a second time, because, you know, we discussed, we ranked, we reshifted, it's definitely got a very smooth, sleek feel. It still felt like cotton when I was knitting it, and it still kind of does, but it is really soft and smooth. Again, it's still different, so I'm really excited to keep an eye and see how this changes after washing and everything. So that's number 11. Number 12, previously number 11, this is Willow Yarns Wash. This is another anti-pilling yarn. I don't have too much to say about some of these now that we're getting softer. So I'm going to try and get through the rest of this really quick with a few comments, and then I'll come back and address what I've noticed on workability so far. At number 13, formerly number 10, we have Lion Brand Jeans. And when I say formerly number 10, again, the previous rankings had a tie. So all of these are going, it's going to seem like all these from here on out have moved up in the rankings, but not necessarily because I didn't have a full 20 last time. What was previously my top rated, this is the Schassenmeyer, or however you pronounced it. They're soft and easy. It's another anti-pilling yarn. It's still soft, but you definitely feel, you can feel the stitches. And I think it's because, I mean, it's kind of interesting, the way the stitches on this lean, it kind of reminds me of a roving yarn, because you can tell how the one side, it's a little larger, and I don't know why that is. That's not common with multiple plies. So anyway, moving on. I keep saying I'm not going to provide additional comments, and I come up with something to say. At number, this is 16 now. Yeah, 16. This is the King Cole Cherished. Really soft. 17. One that surprised me before. This is the Loops and Threads Joy DK. Really nice yarn. I didn't have this one ranked in my previous video, but this is the Basic Stitch Anti-Pilling yarn. I showed it to you just a second ago. This one moved up in the rankings a lot after being knit. Like, I had it pretty close down with the premium, down around number 7. But this one's moved up a lot, and my husband totally loved this yarn. This was one that he kept really trying to, like, push to the top. But what he couldn't dispute, these last two on the end were the two that, like, hands down, absolute softness. Both of us 100% agreed. So for number 19, way at the top, this is Premier Yarns Everyday Anti-Pilling DK. This is the lighter DK weight version of their everyday worsted yarn that they've begun rebranding as the anti-pilling, because it does have anti-pilling properties. And this is soft. Like, I'm really looking forward to making a sweater in this yarn someday. Like, this will be so cozy. But for the number 1, This is the new yarn from Joanne. This is the KC Smooth, the knit and crochet brand that they started. This is their micro acrylic. So it's like a microfiber acrylic. So it's supposed to be more breathable and everything. It is so soft. The drape on this, like, check this out. This has amazing drape. I hope this yarn is durable, because if so, this will make some amazing garments. So anyway, this is 20. After knitting everything up, this is now the softest. It was number 13 previously, so it moved up a lot. I think instead of making this video any longer than it needs to be, I'm going to leave it at that. I'll do a second video commenting on the workability of each of these, and I guess we'll go from there. So thanks for watching.